be able to look up on your left and see the Fazone Woods. They were actually closer to Foy, just much like the Bois Jacques. Like I said, the plan was that Ed Shames guys at 8:30, his 3rd platoon, cross over the road and attack attack north into Foy, while the other 2 platoons under Lipton and Peacock are attacking down from the hill towards Foy this way. Norman Dyke does stop. The attack does slow down, but here's the thing. Norman Dyke had just been shot in the shoulder. So he had just been wounded, and everybody's cup fills up at a different rate. He had already displayed bravery, and being wounded, potentially being in shock, you know, again, he wasn't a great leader, they agree on that. But something happened. We know he was wounded. Colonel Sink was not up at the top. Winters was the senior man controlling the attack. And he didn't try and run in and take over Easy Company, a little dramatic license just to show how, you know, keep that connection. But what he does is he didn't think, all right, I need a real go-getter like Ron Spears. Ron Spears had been wounded in Holland. He does come to Bastogne, and he was basically a regimental officer who hadn't been assigned to anything yet. And so, as Winters is looking, he literally just looks, and Spears is the first officer he sees. And he just goes, Spears, go take Easy Company. And he goes, okay. And he just runs down, takes command. He asks what the situation is. And while they're bogged down out here, Item Company has come around, but there's no link between Shames's 3rd platoon, the other 2 platoons of Easy, and Item Company over here. In fact, they think that Item Company, as they're firing, might have been firing on the Easy Company guy. Now the Germans are in these buildings, and you see that photo, that's a Panzer Mark IV. It had been positioned in a defilade just on that side of the road, and its gun was pointed right up the Bastogne Road. There was a very brave kid from the 502nd, a bazookaman, who wound up getting shot twice in the same calf, trying to come down and knock out this tank. But this is the main German resistance point. They're in the church, they're in these buildings. And what Spears does is once he gives the orders to Lipton and Peacock on how to continue their attack, he says, all right, I need to link up with Item Company. And so he's gonna run across behind that building, through the German lines, across here, behind the church. There's a low wall that used to be there. He's gonna actually jump that low wall. There's a first lieutenant who is essentially the 3rd Battalion commander, but he's from Item Company. Spears links up with him, says, hey, we're here, we're doing this, we're doing that. Wow. Turns around and immediately runs back. Spears says as soon as he jumps over the wall, he looks back and sees that lieutenant who is in command get shot. He's mortally wounded, he'll die the next day. So it's a sergeant that steps up to take over the Item Company attack. But Spears will, right back here, run across once again through the German lines and link up with his guys and continue the attack in. Don Malarkey talks about, so he is Carwood Lipton's platoon sergeant for 2nd Platoon. Lipton's the platoon leader now. There's some small buildings, they kind of show it in the series, with some Germans in it. The Germans come out to surrender, but one of them reaches for a pistol, they wind up shooting him down. And actually once they they come in and they take the town. Second platoon, Lipton and Malarkey and his guys are actually over here trying to clear things out. And Don runs into a guy he grew up with. He had run into him once before in Toccoa. His name escapes me, but he was an officer in the 506th in Toccoa. So was Don. And it was kind of an odd thing, even though they were best friends. Don was a private and this guy was an officer, and it was sort of awkward. Don did not see him again, even though they were in the same regiment. You know, just on the other side of this building, Don walks around and sees this guy he grew up with. And he was a captain at the time. He was on regimental staff, and by that time he's like, Don? And they chatted for a second and then went back to the war. So Easy and the 2nd Battalion take Foy. But they want to keep the momentum, and Noville is the prize. So Easy Company, all of it, so Shane's guys who are over here, Easy Company is going to get together with the rest of the 2nd Battalion on the other side of the road on the afternoon of the 13th. So they've done the attack in the morning. Late in the afternoon, they're going to continue into the woods, and over the next 2 days, they're going to fight their way through this little town of Racone and Cobrew on this side up to Noville, and it's actually going to be Easy Company that retakes Noville. Dog and Fox are on their flank, or Dog's on the flank, Fox is in reserve. They're going to take Noville, and then they're going to move north to Rechamps, which is where we'll finish up this morning. Does anyone have any questions?
Boy, it doesn't look like it's rolling.
Well, Racone has some really nice houses as we go through it. So again, this is just a little part of this greater effort. You know, we know Foy is important. The Germans know that Foy is important. And we always know that the Germans are going to counterattack. That's their thing. And they were able to successfully counterattack on the evening of the 13th. But by this time, Easy Company and the 2nd Battalion is already starting to move north. But they're going to get put out pretty quickly.
Spear's going to be medal of recognition for
the
Spear's going to be medal of recognition for
he gets a I know he's got at least one silver star, but you know, for him that's a Tuesday.